Goodness gracious. What is happening, world? All right. Oh boy, where do I want to start? Let's detail some of this. Let's finish this snake skin. That sounds borderline therapeutic, actually. What's up, Nicholas DeLuca? What's happening? Some reference I took from the game real quick, and then we will begin the endless detailing. Okay. All right. Yes. Stanley full of black coffee feels good. All right. How's everybody doing? What's up, Brian? Good to see you, man. We get a little plan here for how these scales are gonna go. It's been long enough on this piece that I can't quite remember the design language I used on how to do these. Alright, for scale, no pun intended. That was an incredibly bad unintentional pun. Holy shit. That was shocking. For scale, I'm gonna post some of these scales on the other side so I know exactly how big they should be. Absolutely brutal. It was a brutal unintentional pun, guys. I am very sorry. I wish wish I could take credit for that one. So progressively less scales as we get towards the old center here. Posted in my Discord last night, but the reason I wasn't streaming yesterday is because I did a podcast with some very good friends of mine, one of whom, Book Music, is in chat sometimes, and oh boy, was that a fun time. Their podcast is called The Antique Freaks, and we are all lovers of antiques. I've going way back, and yeah, we talked about my antique book collection and a bunch of random stuff about the Wizard of Oz children's books for about 2 hours. It was a very fun discussion, which I believe will get posted later this week, but yes. I'll throw that on social media, sharing around when it goes up. Yeah, it was a fun discussion. It was a good time. What's up, Sharky? Good to see you, buddy. Monetizing. I don't think I get enough. I don't think I'd get enough traction from. I don't post enough to grow the channel enough to really make it worth it money wise. I don't think. Steven probably could. I think maybe when you monetize your channel, it comes with a lot of restrictions on what you're able to do. Because then you qualify for, like, you know, content strikes and things matter a lot more if your channel's monetized, I think. Because obviously advertisers don't want to show their ads next to things that are considered iffy. So depending on what kind of stuff Steven's painting at the time, if it's particularly graphic or could be deemed sexual, or if he's talking about topics that are, you know, not safe for branding, I mean, it could open a whole can of worms that would make things a little tricky. That'd be my only guess. I don't know. There might be other reasons I'm just not familiar with. But that would be an interesting question for him. I'd like to know the rationale. Oh, I just ordered that new James Jean print yesterday. It was $500. Oh, it hurts. Hurts my bank account, but heals my soul. His new prints are fucking nuts, guys. The embossing and like the lenticular reflective paints and like all the stuff he presses into it and like the diamond dust mixed into the paint and like, man, they're like shocking pieces of craftsmanship. It's really, really incredible. It's like revolutionizing printmaking. You can see this new piece of furniture I found antiquing behind me. Check it out. You can kind of see the little Moroccan cutouts in it. That's gonna live up here. Sorry, the room's a mess. I'm trying to finally finish this room, which means rearranging a lot of furniture and finishing the electrical. I'd like to have this room done by the end of February. We'll see how that goes. Yes, the snake one. What year is it from? The James Jean print or the furniture? Furniture is from mid-1800s. It's probably like 1850. The James Jean, I believe he did this year. It might have been a sketch from last year, but he did it this year. As a print. Yeah, furniture's from like 1850, I think. Best as I can tell. I have a rough appraisal, but my antique friends haven't seen it in person yet. Getting this thing up I knew it was real, like I knew it was a real antique because of how heavy it is. And it doesn't come apart into pieces, it's all one solid piece of structure. Um, it wasn't like made to be like assembly lined. It's all just crafted and super sturdy. But man, getting it up the stairs in this house, getting it up 2 full flights of stairs and around corners was real tough because that thing is heavy. Yeah, things definitely changed in terms of the quality of craftsmanship in the 1800s. That's why I'm a big fan of the William Morris arts and crafts counter movement, where they were like, reject the assembly lines, support local artists, create, beautiful handcrafted things. That whole counterculture at the time, the anti-factory movement, everything that came out of that is aesthetically just stuff that I love. All the Minton tile works and all the Morris tapestries and all the beautiful furniture, and yeah, it's just great. It's a little too dark. That's pretty rad, Sharky. Once I hit my fitness goals, I will be over there, though. You are high on my list to visit. I was thinking of you, Ryan. I started a new Final Fantasy VII file. And I got out of Midgar and heard that lovely music, and it was very nostalgic. Such an interesting game. I'm still planning on playing Final Fantasy 1 on stream. I think it's going to probably be a February thing. I was going to do it this month, but a lot of personal family stuff has just made it impossible. It's been a lot of just taking care of people. It's true, buddy. I get out of that city and I rotated that camera around me and heard that melancholy, quiet, open world music. And I said, Ryan understands. Somewhere out there, Ryan understands what I'm feeling right now. It's true. That is why. I was contemplating this week maybe throwing on a somebody uploaded an FF7 Rebirth playthrough with only the cutscenes and like some of the big boss fights, and I was like, maybe I'll throw that on. Throw that on in the background while I work. Some great music in that game. Hey, you're gonna love it, Ryan. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love most of it. I'll rephrase. You're gonna love most of it. You're not gonna like the alternate universe stuff, but you'll love the rest of it. Luckily, they tone that way the fuck down in the part 2. In the words of Tim Rogers, I drank that game with a milkshake straw. I was genuinely surprised at how well they captured the vibe of the world. Shocking. There's parts in FF7 Rebirth are so well done. It genuinely shocks me how good they are. And then there's the new stuff they added that is so bad, it makes my soul cringe. It's a very strange experience, but it is worth playing. It is 100% worth playing. The best things? Well, I don't want to spoil them. I don't want to spoil them. You'll know them when you see them, because there's some unexpected things that were in the original game, but the way they handle them and the way they look in that ultra HD modern graphics is just mind blowing. How well it captures the vibe, it's just shocking. But the worst is all of the stuff with Zack and the alternate universe is really, really bad. The ending is really bad. Unfortunately, the ending is not good. And if anyone's played the original FF7, there's a turning point where you realize that one of the characters, Red 13, who's been pretending to be a cool old dog lion thing, you find out he's actually like for his race, he's like a kid. And he drops the act and becomes more like excitable and loving and more like a pet and not like a stoic philosopher. And the way they unfortunately handle that in Rebirth is his voice goes from something like this, talking about the great calamity from the sky and the threat to the planet, to Uncle Bugenhagen. Oh, I sound like Sonic the Hedgehog. I'm just so excited to be back here in Cosmo Canyon. I can just run around all day. It's cringy. Oh. It's one of those cringe moments where all I can think of is my reaction is making the getting shot sounds from 007 GoldenEye on the N64, where Red 13 talks and I go, "Ooh! Oh! Ah! Oh!" It just hurts. It hurts so bad. Can we just get the old voice back, please? It's also weird because Cloud kind of talks like this, and we're gonna go to Junin, and we'll find Sephiroth, and Barret talks like this. It's like everyone's got these, voices that are, whatever, and then Red 13 comes in with the, "Oh boy, I can't wait to run around and just sniff and scratch," and ooh, it's just not. It's too anime. It's way too anime. It doesn't match the vibe of the other people. But I will say 90%, 95% of the game is flawlessly executed. Flawlessly executed. It is shocking to me how well they did it. Yes. If I were them, I would have taken Red 13's voice from this to something like this. Just raise the pitch a little, but keep it breathy. He's still world-weary, and he's been experimented on, but he doesn't need to be down here. Like, you know, just a subtle little less gravel and a slightly higher pitch. But it doesn't need to become, oh boy! Like, don't make him Sonic the Hedgehog. Like, what are we doing? I just can't wait to go to the Gold Saucer. Like, fuck off, dude. Hashtag not my Red 13. There's parts that they expand that are really I really like the expanded versions better than the original game. I don't want to spoil any of them though, because they were like, it was like such a cool thing to just experience. The opening for Rebirth is very strong. Opening on the Nibelheim mission, and when you start going up Mount Nibel with Tifa and Sephiroth, and the camera zooms way back, and you see the scope of the environment, and the titles start to come on, and the music's playing. It's a very effective opening. Very, very, very well done. I'll say that it's very impressive even from the beginning, but when you get to, the only thing I'll say, the only slight, not a spoiler, but just a hint, you'll start to really be impressed when you get to Junin. You'll start to realize just how much depth and detail I don't know how impressive it is, but... Oh, yeah, there's a really beautiful mod that replaces the 3D and FF7 with 3D based on the colored pencil Tetsuya Nomura drawings. And it keeps the colored pencil texture on the 3D polygons. And honestly, they could make a whole game based on that. Can I find them? It's pretty awesome looking, but yeah, this is one of them. Like, look how good this looks. Oops. It's just like Nomura's artwork just wrapped onto the 3D model. It's great. It looks really, really, really good. Trying to find the Cloud one. I'm not going to be able to find it, which is too bad. I have it saved. They're on that free 3D model website. Yeah, Sharky found some of it. Well, anyway, you can find it if you Google. It's out there. I gotta get back to painting. But the cloud one is shockingly impressive. I will say there's a few things they did keep in technically, but cut. Like Fort Condor is in the game, but you don't go to Fort Condor. You can see Fort Condor in the distance, but you don't go there. But you still play the Fort Condor game. I did turn in the Witcher piece. The Witcher piece is done. This is the final for that piece. It's done. It's finito. It's out, and I think it's getting released this week. So there it is. It's finished. I'm still annoyed because I think her legs could be longer. Technically they're correct, but they still look a little short, but hey, I have to stop. Gotta stop. It's out. It's going out. Thank you. Love you. Oh, I think I found... Actually, I think I found that mod. Here's an example. The only thing that sucks about this mod is that the NPC characters still look like little blocky 3D dudes. But like, it's pretty shocking what a difference it makes when you drop the Nomura artwork into the game. It looks so much better. So much better, but I love that they kept the colored pencil textures. It just looks great. It just looks really, really great. If they remade Final Fantasy Tactics and used something like this, where it's like a colored pencil shader over a 3D model, it would be flawless. It would just be flawless. Yeah, it's got a vibe for sure. I will say, for people playing Rebirth, Queen's Blood is very fun and a very well-designed card game. However, if you 100% it, I'm going to tell you this because I wish I knew it, you don't get an in-game reward for it. There's like story content about it, but they don't give you like an item that you can use in like battle. Like in other games, if you 100% a side quest or a minigame, they usually give you like somebody's best weapon or like a new summon or something. That is not the case. If you beat Queen's Blood, your reward is the most powerful Queen's Blood card, which is useless because you've already beat everybody in the game that plays Queen's Blood. So it's kind of like getting Mewtwo at the end of Pokemon, where it's like, it's cool, but it's sort of useless because you've already beat all the trainers. Like, you can't get there without beating the Elite Four. So like, what are you going to use Mewtwo against, you know? Other than, you know, completing your Pokedex, like, or like fighting friends, I guess, with your, you know, Game Boy Link cable. But yeah, I thought for sure, for how involved and how much of the game involves Queen's Blood, I thought you'd get something more special, but not the case, unfortunately. But it is a very fun card game, so it's almost worth playing just for itself. Yeah, I agree, Sharky. I think does the thing I've been thinking in the back of my head for a long time, where, you know, Square Enix is in this really weird spot where their games, they're releasing these stuff aren't making enough money to justify, and they have this weird mentality that like if their games don't look genre-definingly beautiful and, you know, high budget, they don't want to release them. But, you know, the Switch 2 is essentially a PlayStation 4 that's portable, and like the difference between PlayStation 4 and 5 graphics, I mean, there is a difference, but it's incredibly subtle. And I feel like they could save 50% of their costs going back to a PS3 or a PS4 benchmark, and they could make way more games and sell way more. Like the graphics on, you know, PS3 games looked bad. They look great. At the time, they were incredibly expensive, but now, you know, it's way cheaper than a PS5 game. Like, would anyone really complain? Like, even if they made, I'll use a really hyperbolic example. Even if they made a PlayStation 2 looking version of Final Fantasy VII and released it all at once, not in 3 parts, people would have bought it by the millions. Like, let alone a PS3 or you know, they started on PS4, now it's on PS5, but even that mod we just looked at with the colored pencil style, if they release something like that, you know, something that could run on a PS3, like, it'd be way, 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 way cheaper. But I don't know. They seem to be, a lot of developers seem to be in this chokehold of cutting edge. But hopefully, the reason I brought up the Switch 2, now that that's the benchmark for development on that system, hopefully a lot of more achievable games come out. Yeah, I think people should go the Capcom route in terms of just have really good art direction and don't focus, like, other than their RE reboots, which are kind of leaning into that, like, it has to be cutting edge. All their other IPs are just like, make it super stylized. Marvel Rivals is great, yeah. Just make it look visually distinct, and that's half the work, you know? Like, if they release a Final Fantasy IX remake, which has been rumored for years and supposedly was in the NVIDIA leaks that have all come true, I don't necessarily, like, I wouldn't hate a completely insane, you know, ground up mega 3D reimagining like FF7 Rebirth, but it doesn't need it, you know? You could grab some really good, you know, redo the 3D models and make them look good and like throw a cool shader on it like that colored pencil mod we just looked at, and You know, just it doesn't need to be fucking insane. Yeah. No, I agree, Sharky. Yeah. It's a shame they don't have access to the original background paintings for that game. They just put them in high def. It sucks that the best way to play that game is the McGarry mod still, with the AI upscaling. But, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just think we're at a point where people aren't going to really notice the difference. We're also in a weird spot where consistency of quality is almost impossible. Because, like, if you look at... Tim Rogers had a bit about this in his FF7 remake review. If you look at the models for, like, Cloud and Tifa in remake, like, Cloud's model is insane. It's fucking nuts. But if you look at the other characters, I don't know, they're not as crazy as Cloud's. They're all really good. Really, really good. But then when you start getting into the world and you look at the villains, it's like, okay, the Turk models aren't that great compared to the heroes. And then it's like, oh, the NPCs are like from Sonic the Hedgehog 2006. It's like assets they bought in like an asset pack and just, you know, dumped into Midgar. And you're like, whoa. Like, if you look at Cloud standing next to like Chocobo Sam, it's fucking crazy, the drop in quality between the two. And it's borderline immersion breaking, where like it's impossible to make everybody look as good as that Cloud model because the budget would be insane. But the game wouldn't be bad if everybody looked like the Chocobo Sam model. Like, you only notice how bad that model is because of how good the Cloud model standing next to it is. It's very, very strange. But yeah, if there isn't going to be a consistency in the quality, it's almost not worth doing in a weird way. Because it makes the jump that much more obvious. But yeah. Rebirth is better. It's still obvious though that some of the NPCs are very phoned in. I'm listening to this if anybody needs it. That's cool. Very quiet in the background. They put the... Such a specific FF7 sound. It's from the North Cave at the very end when they're floating towards what they think is holy, and then it's the planet core with Sephiroth in it. That's such a specific sound. Oh, they're doing the cries of the planet in the background? Man, the sound design in that game is so iconic. True. I think the last game in the Final Fantasy series to have a really consistent design across the board was probably 12. Say what you will about the gameplay and the main character they threw in at the last second, but man, the design of 12 is shockingly good. Down to the NPCs. It's a stunning achievement visually. Just the world building and the design language that's everywhere in that game is just mind-blowingly good. Basically, the problems all started when they switched to HD, which they've been very transparent about. That's why Final Fantasy XIII didn't have towns you could explore. Because they said that the cost of developing a town in HD was just not something that was possible. Yeah, I'm not a Nomura fan, but it's also they have said openly that like part of the reason is that developing 3D models in HD is just too costly. Which is very strange, because they sure did figure it out for FF7 Rebirth. Those towns are fucking crazy. The NPCs don't look good in a lot of spots, but if you're gonna cut something, I guess the NPCs are kind of the way to go. Like, they probably made the right choice, because the towns look fucking crazy. They look very good in Rebirth. That's very tempting to play 14. It's been something I've wanted to dive into for so long. I wonder how long it would take to get through the content. That's something I would definitely do live. Sharky, if you jump into 14, I might have to join you. Then we can raid together. Oh no. Oh no! You're enabling me. I've just seen screenshots from that game that make my inner child cry. Cry with happiness. I've seen my favorite designs from like Final Fantasy VI rendered in beautiful 3D. And it's like, what? What? I want to see that. I want to walk around that. I want to move the camera. That thing I love is real, and I can go look at it. Like, I have no interest in playing the game. I just want to see everything. I want to walk around in the game like a museum. And if playing it is the only way to do that, then I might have to. Yeah. That's the best art team Square has for sure. I wish they used them more. I'll show you the design for 16 that I never did real quick. I'll show it to you. The design that we started that got put on pause because I don't think it's ever coming out, so I'll show it. This was my sketch. This was my sketch. It's very rough, so forgive me. But yeah, I was gonna do like a stone frame with all the summons with like their icon people in the middle. Very rough, so forgive how wonky the faces look. But this one's the worst. The Bahamut guy face is so phoned in. But yeah. Yeah. Would have been fun. Maybe I'll finish it on my own sometime if we don't go through with it, but that's awesome. I'm glad, Ryan. What is about 14 that jumps out to me? I love all of that aesthetic, that art team, everything they've done. From like Tactics Ogre, Let Us Cling Together to Bravely Default to, you know, the Tactics games. It's just everything in that style, that Ivalice style. Vagrant Story, all of it. Everything that design team touches, I love it. It's probably my favorite aesthetic that ever came out of Square. The other thing about 14 that obviously I love is that it's like a little playable museum of nostalgia if you grew up with the Final Fantasy games, because you can see the pixel art from like the old games in beautiful 3D, and those characters are moving around and they look better than ever, and it's weird. It's like a realization of what your brain thought those games looked like when you were plugging in the gaps as a kid in real life. But yeah, it's a combination of playable nostalgia and also just that art team is just fucking incredible. Until they finally make a game that looks like Yoshitaka Amano's art. If they ever finally do that, they have the technology now, they could. If they do that, that will be my favorite thing ever. But until that happens, this works surprisingly well with a breakbeat. Gotta love that Omni Slash sound effect in the background. What is this, Yuffie? No, it's Cold Saucer. It's funny. I will say, when you're done playing Rebirth, go on YouTube and look at a video that shows the original 3D models next to the new 3D models for all the enemies, and it is very, very impressive. Like 90% of them are like exactly what you would want them to be. It's crazy attention to detail that I really, really respect, that they managed to keep the aesthetic of all the weird enemies. Probably the best Mind Flayer design I've ever seen in anything. I think the best. I'll pull it up if you guys don't want to see it. Spoiler alert. Where's a good picture of its full body? Yeah, it's so fucking good. My God. It's so good. Pulling it up now. Ah, it's so low res. Fuck. The cloak being the tentacles and the inside of, like, the underside of an octopus is such a good idea. Oh, it's so good! Anyway. It's just the best. It's the best Mind Flayer I have ever seen in my many years. Can I find a better... Here we go. This is correct. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. It's the best it's the coolest Mind Flayer design I've ever seen. The cloak being the tentacles is just... It's just the greatest design solution ever. But anyway. You gotta keep in mind what it's reimagining too. It's reinterpreting this Amano artwork. It's a callback to this pixel art. It's this. It's this Final Fantasy I sprite that they're reinterpreting. It's, oh God, I love it so much. It's just such a great, it's such a great update. Man, anyway. I'll do the full gamut. Look at that. That's the original Yoshitaka Amano art. That's the Amano artwork for Final Fantasy I. They got turned into this pixel. They got turned into this. Look at that. Look at that jump. Boop. Incredible. You like the original better? Well, you know. You're allowed to have your opinions. One of the many designs that Final Fantasy I just straight up stole from the D&D Monster Manual, which is very funny. I believe the only one they had to legally change was the Beholder. They had to change it to, I think in the game they call it Evil Eye. They made it look like Phantoon from Metroid instead of a Beholder, but they straight up just stole stuff from D&D, which is very, very, very funny. It's okay, Eric. Everybody do your best Tidus impressions. This is my story. I didn't know it then, but what Yuna was really saying was goodbye. Ugh. Ugh. Another game that could have been great, if not for its main character. Okay, it was great. It was a great game, but it's not a timeless game. That voice acting on Tidus is just shockingly bad. Part of me wondered what Yuna was trying to say. I didn't realize it then, but she was really going through it too. It was at that moment I realized I was never going home again. There's so much I love about Final Fantasy X, and so much I hate about Final Fantasy X. So much I love, and so much I hate. Hey, thanks, Pygmy. That's very kind of you to say. I love you. Good to see you. I'll be back again streaming tomorrow. I'm not sure on the hours yet. I have a doctor's appointment and personal training, but I'll be back tomorrow and I'll be back Friday. Hoping I can get the bulk of this snake done today. I'd really like to get this piece out. I was feeling a bit dismayed at how long this was taking, and I thought Elden Ring was gonna fall out of significance before it got released, and then I got the gift of them announcing Night Rain, which might be great and might not be great, and who knows, but it keeps Elden Ring on the map a bit longer, so I can get this out there. You'll get clip. I have to finish this painting the way I started it, though. If I did clip on this, then I would have to redo the entire thing. You'll get some clip. Don't worry. I have 30 paintings that I started that I will be finishing in clip. They were all started in Photoshop, and they will be all finished in clip. 30! 30! So get ready. They're technically concept art. They're not like illustrations. They're characters. So you'll be seeing those. Wow. Look at you, Sharky. Best mod in the biz. There's also some skeleton boys I need to finish. This one right here needs to be done. And this one right here needs to be done. Wow. There you go. They need to be done. Those will be clipped. Clip studioed. Thanks, Riley. Do, boo, do, do, do. That's pretty cool, Shays. Yeah, I'd like to try everything you've made. All right, folks. First break of the stream. I must get up. I'll be back in just a couple minutes. my god, I'm back. Oh my god, I'm back. What's going on? What's up, Miguel? What's going on, buddy? Yeah, Ryan's been killing it with the artist chats. Killing it. On behalf of all of us people who need more stuff to listen to that is equal parts informative, entertaining, inspirational, and exciting, thank you. Thank you very much, Ryan. Okay, back to the Renderfest. Training's going good, man. I upped it to 4 days a week. I was going 5 days a week, then I went down to 3, then I went back up to 4. I'm trying to swim every day and do longer training less often. So like 4 really intense ones a week with a day off in between is kind of the new place I'm at. But yeah, trying to do longer sessions, but one less day. Trying to get more serious about it. I lost about 90 pounds and then I gained back 10, and I'm not sure how. I mean, I was pretty careful over the holidays, but maybe, I don't know, even when you're careful over the holidays, maybe I just had too many calories. I don't know. But yeah, I'm trying to get back down to where I was. Yeah, I'm hovering around a net loss of 80-ish. I can't tell if it's a good thing or a bad thing that the restaurant I'm a part owner of is across the street from my gym, though. In a sense, it's good because after my workout, I can immediately eat a steak and not pay anything for the steak, which is good. It's bad in the sense that at any time I want something that is not good for me, it's right there. But I haven't abused that yet. I've been pretty good. Been pretty good about that, but it is like I always forget what hunger feels like until I do like I try to do one like marathon swim a week where I swim for like 3 hours. After those, I'm like, oh right, this is what it feels like to be hungry. I forgot what hungry felt like. Restaurant's been good. We we've been getting like 350 people for brunch consistently every weekend, which is great. Our executive chef, Jack, who's I've known basically my entire life, um, he wanted to do brunches, and we were like, sure, go ahead. And that has like been business has been good in general. It's been a good steady flow of people, good reviews and stuff, and but the brunches are like selling out consistently. I think last weekend we went through 14 whole prime ribs. He does a really good spread though. It's an interesting brunch, lots of different stuff. But yeah, it's a good space. No one around here is really doing brunch anymore, so he capitalized on that. But yeah, it's been popular. Friday nights are always busy. There's live music and stuff, and we're still figuring out the. I'm not super involved with the business. My brother is kind of in charge of that stuff. I don't really, outside of helping get the building built and designing it and making it historically accurate. I don't really have a ton of. I don't like work for the business or anything. I just show up sometimes. But it's been going good. It's been going good. I could ask them. Oh, actually, you know what, Eric? They do, because Dan DeSalt did an amazing... well, actually, I don't know. Dan DeSalt did an amazing Sekiro Shadows Die Twice thing, but it was based on the cover for Ninja Scroll. For Meat Bun. So I don't know, I can ask though. I mean, I could just do a Vampire Hunter DPs. You just do one. Sorry, I was looking for a reference. Yeah, that Oyster Fest thing is crazy. I'm definitely not working that. I'll attend, maybe if people are around and they want to go, I'll definitely go down. But yeah, that's gonna be. I don't want to be anywhere near that. When I was a kid, I did catering with my mom, very legally. I was a child, and I've seen, the stress that puts kitchens under firsthand, and I'm good. I'm good. I've got enough going on in my life. Was the biggest sticking point on the historical stuff of the restaurant? It had to be period accurate to when the rest of, because it's in historical downtown and it's on a historical site. It's on a site from where the first British, it's actually called British Landing because it's where like one of the first attacks of the Revolutionary War happened. But they needed it to look like a building that was built at the same time period as the other historical buildings on that street in that part of town. So I modeled it after an old sawmill that's, from the same time period in another area down here. And they needed it to look like all the windows had to be, I believe they're called 12/8s. I can't remember. But all the windows had to look like they were made in that time period, which is very specific. Nothing could look modern. There couldn't be a cupola. There had to be a monitor ceiling, post and beam. Everything had to look as if it has been there for 200 years, basically. It couldn't look modern in any way. It had to, all the fixtures on the outside, all the lamps had to, even if they're solar, they had to look like old gas lamps. So I got some really nice solar onion-shaped lamps and some other things. There's also a marina on the property that we own, that everything on the marina had to look antique as well. So nice, thick wooden tree trunk posts, onion lamps, obviously. The rope we used had to be a certain kind. The colors of paint had to be colors that were sourceable in that time period. We couldn't make it any like weird, funky color. It was very, 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 very specific stuff. The metal had to be, any visible metal on the outside had to be like brass. It couldn't be like steel. But yeah, lots of stuff like that. The signage, the typeface had to be something that existed back then, like a copper plate or something. It was very involved, and it's stuff that was... Essentially what was happening was my father was designing the place because it was initially just his idea to open a restaurant, and, he's got a lot of strengths as a worker and an idea guy, but he doesn't know design stuff, and the architects and the firms he was using were essentially like treating him like a piggy bank. They were like bleeding him dry on money. By every time he had a new idea, they would do a whole new set of blueprint plans and charge him the full rate. So it was like every set of even if you wanted to, like, hey, let's change the lamps to this lamp. Oh, okay, we'll do that, sir. And then they would, change the lamps on a whole new set of blueprints, which is completely unnecessary, and then charge him the $2,000 for the blueprint set with the stamp. So I went into their office one day and I saw like a stack of literally 70 to 100 blueprints, and I was like, have you wasted like $150,000 on revisions? And like he doesn't look at the books because he's not like a numbers dude. So I looked through all the receipts and I was like, holy shit, you've wasted so much money that he didn't know he was spending on this thing. And that's the only reason I got involved, was because I was like, okay, from now on, I'll go to the Historical Society and I will do this for free. And I will just make sure once it's all accurate and Historical Society signs off on it and it's good, then you take my plans to the, you take my plans to the architects and you have them build it based on the specs I give you. But no more using these architects, because they are treating you like, like a mark, basically. So yeah, I learned a lot in the process. It was very interesting to design something. It's similar to what I did when I designed my house. Same post and beam company too. But yeah, it was interesting to learn all the historical stuff and the code stuff. Excuse me, what's Kingdom Hearts doing in my Final Fantasy X? Oh, never mind. Does that inflate the cost of building the place? It's definitely more expensive than it would have been. Like, putting the monitor ceiling on it, I think, was like probably $45,000. Which, like, if we had just done a cupola, it would have been way, way, way cheaper. But, like, we couldn't. Or they wouldn't have approved it because it wouldn't have looked right. So it's, I don't know. It's a double-edged thing where, like, it was probably, I'm gonna say, 30 to 45% more expensive to build the building in that area. But the land was also very cheap because it was in a floodplain. so we had to build the building on stilts to get it out of the floodplain. But yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of pros and cons to how they chose to do it. None of that was my decision. I wouldn't have chose to necessarily build there, but the land was very cheap. They had to get it out of the floodplain by raising the building, though. And then all the historical stuff was very expensive. But the nice thing is that it's a very nice looking building now, especially on the interior. Beautiful building on the interior, beautiful view of the river. But yeah, I also designed it. I designed it so if the restaurant ever went out of business, I'll just draw this real quick down here. I designed the restaurant to be one huge hall that you could use for weddings. So it's this massive hall with windows on this side, and it's like, you know, it's a one big empty room, and then like there's a bar over here, and the kitchen is over here, and the entryway is through here, through the center. The bathrooms are tucked on either side of the entryway. So the bar's over here, kitchen's over here, and then there's this big empty room that steps out onto a porch that overlooks the river, and then over here is a little private room that overlooks the ocean. And then the idea being that if the restaurant ever went out of business, this is huge. This is a huge space. I didn't tell anyone this, but I checked all the codes. If the restaurant ever goes out of business, I designed it so you can chop this into 4 or 5 units that have loft ceilings. You can stick a bedroom in that have views of the river. And then outside over here, there's a pier where there's boat slips that come with the property. So if it ever fails as a restaurant, I can turn it into 4 or 5 condos in a beautiful antique building, and each condo can have an ocean-ready boat slip. And we can probably sell each of those to recoup the entire cost of building the restaurant. Because a condo on the ocean is pretty good, but a condo on the ocean with a private marina is like, can sell that for a lot. I can turn the kitchen into a gym for the people that live there, and I can turn the bar into a rec room or a pool or something, but restaurant ever goes under, I can turn it into condos and make all the money back real fast. So, but yeah. It's out of wood? What do you mean? I don't know what out of wood means. Made out of wood? I mean, there's steel, but we wrapped the steel with wood to hide it. Because we weren't allowed to, you can't see the steel for the code and for the historical commission. So we would take a steel beam and build a box of wood around it so it looks like a wood beam. But yeah. There's a lot of steel in that building. Just like, if you can see, actually, I'll show you. I did the same thing in my house. Do you see these beams here? These 2 beams? Those are steel beams that I wrapped in wood because for a post and beam house to stand, you usually need vertical posts that would be sticking out of them, like where my thumbs are, that come down into the floor. But I didn't want a bunch of wooden posts breaking up this room that I'd be constantly bumping into that would interrupt my view and my space. So the only way to make it hold the ceiling structure up is to reinforce the beams by using steel. But steel wouldn't match, so the only way to do it was, I told my carpenter, can you build me a wooden box and stain it to look like the wood in the ceiling, but put steel beams inside the box to carry the weight of the superstructure. And he did that, and it worked out great. So now there's no vertical posts interrupting the room. We did the same thing in the restaurant, but we had to use a higher grade steel beam to carry the weight. But yeah, so it looks like a post and beam house, but it's actually a steel structure hidden inside some wood. But yeah. Hungry termites? You exterminate them. need a lot of termites for that, though. Trust me, if anything's going to take down that building, it's not going to be termites. It's going to be some kind of crazy hurricane. Because even though we're out of the floodplain, if there's like a crazy hurricane, I could see that place potentially flooding out or the wind tearing stuff down. That would be the big risk. But, you know, it's heavily insured, so hopefully that would be okay. Was there any historical code stuff that I found very ridiculous? Oh, tons. Absolutely tons. When they were telling us like what kind of weather vane we had to have, where they were like, we want the weather vane to be this kind of boat. It has to be a schooner because famously the schooner something Queen Mary or whatever was parked here, and it's like, okay, that's just something you're asking for. That's not a period accurate thing. That's just a thing you want us to do. But like they had veto power over all of it because we were in the historical area, so we had to do it. And it's like, you know, stuff like that, like little vanity things that they just liked. Those were kind of crazy. But yeah, most of the stuff was just, you know, it had to be built the way those old things were built. And if it wasn't, we had to cover it with something that made it look like it was. Stuff like we had to build a separate little house for the dumpsters that had like a fake cupola. Stuff like that was crazy to me. Like even the enclosure for the dumpsters had to look like a historic barn. But yeah. It's hard to see. This is from way up a street before we were open. But this is just a render for the sign. But this is the monitor ceiling I'm talking about up here. Putting that thing on was expensive. And these dormers, they forced us to add these little doghouse dormers because having one big open roof with nothing on it wasn't period accurate. They had to have dormers that interrupted that negative space. So these dormers don't go anywhere. There's nothing in these rooms. They're just there because it has to look like that. Which I thought was kind of crazy, kind of ridiculous, because it's just a waste of space. I think we hid some of the electrical and maybe some condensers for the AC in those rooms, just to get them out of the way. But they're not really accessible. But yeah, those were kind of ridiculous. Forcing those on there was kind of crazy. But the monitor ceiling was difficult. I'll show you something very funny. So one thing my father wanted to do because because we're in a historical floodplain. Let me see if I can find it in my email. One thing he wanted to do was do temporary buildings that you could get up and move inside of Connex boxes, like shipping containers. He was like, what if we make a bunch of like a food truck, like a small outdoor kitchen that we can put on the beach, and if there's a storm, we can just pick it up with a truck. And Hold on. I want to show you guys my solution. So we pitched that to Historical, and they were like, you can do that if the Connex box looks like it was built in that time period. And that was a really fun challenge, because how do you make a shipping container look like it was built in the 1800s? And my solution was this, which they loved. Historical loved this, which was you wrap the Connex box in clapboard and you stain it and you shingle it, and then you put the ventilation system for the deep fryers and the AC units inside of a fake doghouse top, and then you put the ventilation, the chimney, you hide it inside the cupola. So it would have a fake cupola with ventilation for the fryers and the AC. All the electrical work and the condensers would be inside that roof under the sign. And then the pull-up doors, you would cut them in half and you would have them be flip open things that serve for the kitchen. And you'd hide a little staff bathroom in the corner. So this is a shipping container. You could pick this up with a truck and move it down the street in like 5 minutes. But it looks like this little barn. But yeah, it was very, very funny. It was a weirdly fun problem-solving exercise to come up with stuff like that. But yeah, it was an interesting experience. The other cool thing was Historical, you know, the people there work with architects a lot, but they don't work with illustrators. So like, I could do things that the other people weren't doing, where like, if I took a photo of the lot and I took a photo of a historical building from the same angle, I could drop that building onto the lot and show them this is what it will look like when we build the place. And it looked like a photograph of like a future that doesn't exist yet. And they were like, how did you do this? It was like, it's very, very funny. It's weird that very simple Photoshop stuff is like magic to people that don't understand how to use it. Yes, I have watched that Guess of Bonita documentary, and it's fucking awesome. What's also funny, because like, I started to get familiar with like the small town politicking, which is very funny, where like, people would come to me after the meetings and be like, you know, I'm thinking of putting an extension on my house, and you know, the town would probably be more likely to approve it if I had a render of it like you did for that restaurant. Do you think you could, like, you know, do a painting of it? They'd be like, you know, I'd definitely, like, you know, be a little more favorable for some of the changes you guys want to make to the restaurant if you do me a favor. Like, weird, like, borderline bribes. Very, very funny, but yeah, I don't know. Small towns are funny because the people on the boards, like, you give them one iota of power and they fucking grasp onto it. They really wield that shit. Please hold chat. Hello?
Yo.
What's going on? I'm live, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, cool. Just checking. Talk?
Yo, what's up?
Turn you up a bit.
Hey,
Talk
everybody.
again?
How y'all doing?
Hey, check. Alright, I think you're good.
Okay.
What's going on?
Nothing. I think I finally am ready to go with my little Veil comic.
Oh, sick.
I think what I'm gonna do is honestly just release it.
You're not gonna,
Just put it on.
yeah, you're not gonna do the book release?
No, I haven't felt like I wanted to do that.
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work for something that's not like a ton of content.
Yeah, fulfilling it would be
So
a nightmare.
it's just a pain for something that like,
Yeah,
I just like
I get it.
I feel like I should put it out like a comedian puts out a YouTube special.
I mean, you can just do what we did with the first Steve book, release it, and then if people say, I would buy a hardcover of this enough times, you do a Kickstarter once it already has a fan base, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's kind of what I was thinking. But yeah, so I think I'm gonna put it out. I'm gonna put it out with like a option to join like a newsletter for the Starvale release,
sure.
and then I'll just say like funded by patrons. If you want to help support, you can always join the Patreon.
Sure. Yeah, that'd be cool.
And then I'll just so I think well first and foremost I'm gonna put it out onto the Patreon
Yeah,
fully, like with all the text and everything.
for sure.
And then after that, I'm going to put it up on my website as like its own section,
Nice.
and then go from there.
Yeah. No, I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, because otherwise I'm just sitting on it, and I don't want to do that.
Yeah. And I mean, if you do more in the future, you could always release them as a compilation or something, and it would make more sense, more content.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's a good idea. Because fulfilling it would be a nightmare.
Especially with like the tariffs that are incoming. I'm
Yeah,
like,
it would suck.
I don't really want to deal with everything that's about to happen either.
If you got halfway through printing and then all the prices went up and you were like locked into fulfilling a thing that you ended up losing money on, it would be like such a fucking nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I'm like, just to avoid all the pain. If it were like a giant book, I wouldn't do that. If it were a giant book, I would just be like, all right, I'm gonna wait and then put out the whole book.
I've been telling chat for a couple months that our third Steve book, even though it's basically done, the writing part, we might have to wait a long time to do the hardcover depending how the tariffs shake out. Which is
absolutely
yeah. It's like if things go up 25%, you're not seeing that book for 4 years. So like
yeah. What are we supposed to do?
Yeah.
Too crazy.
Yeah, it's too nuts. Anyway, that's good. I'm glad you're at a place where you're feeling good about the next steps for that.
Yeah, I was like, what else am I gonna do with this? Just sit on it. There's no point. I should just do this.
We're already sitting on a huge thing we did that we can't show anybody. There's so many.
Yeah.
You can't sit on infinite things.
No.
Just drive you insane, slowly.
Yeah, I just have to start like putting things out.
Sure. But anyway, that's good.
Yeah. I'm just loading it up onto the Patreon right now.
People are gonna love it. Guys, if you're patrons of Dave's, or if you want to become patrons of Dave's, you can go see that comic. It's going up right now. You heard it.
Veil comic release.
How many days a week are you training with your guy?
days.
2 days. Okay.
Yeah. I haven't done it in 2 weeks because of the temperature and just like we were doing it in my garage.
Sure. Yeah. I was doing.
And then it was like, we can't do that.
I was doing 5, and then I was doing 3, and I think I'm gonna go back up to 4. But yeah, I don't know. That's been the only thing I've been trying to be super consistent with. Where it's like, if I'm gonna sacrifice something, it's gonna have to be something else. I just haven't been able to fit everything in these past couple weeks. Too much stuff.
Yeah. I mean, holidays and then just kind of coming out of that. And I don't know if you had the cold come in, but our cold was insane. It was like way below zero here.
Oh, yeah. It's been, the cold snap here has been ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very, very not good. Especially when my fucking boiler died. That was so funny. The backfiring boiler that sounded like a shotgun every 2 seconds. The exhaust was getting trapped in the pipe. So every like 5 minutes it would go. It would sound like a firework shooting out of a tube, or somebody shooting a gun, or like if a car drives by and the exhaust backfires. It was literally that, but in my house every 5 minutes, just pow, pow. It's like, fuck me, dude. This is insane. I think my dog like lost 2 years off her life. Just hiding under my bed, losing her shit. Eventually, I just had to shut the boiler off and just turn all the water off and close all the pipes off and just let the house become winter.
Yeah.
I was like, well, that was very funny. If you're wondering why I wasn't streaming, like, what was that, like 2 weeks ago? A week ago? I can't remember, but it's because my house was literally an icebox. I was just like, well, I guess this has to happen for a week. But yeah, what else is going on?
Nothing. Just working on that, well, just celebrating that Unacceptable Manga has had the ability to finally release their comic.
You mean that comic
You know what I mean?
You mean that comic made by somebody who's not us?
Yeah, that Akira Yoshida guy.
Yeah.
So Miss
doing,
Lasagna.
Doing pretty crazy work, that guy.
Yeah. So yeah, Miss Lasagna. It's getting published through Matt and Shane's secret podcast.
It's really crazy that content
Matt
like
McCusker and Shane Gillis.
Yeah. It's a pretty crazy vote of confidence for that creator that their work could be shared by the biggest Patreon that's out there.
Oh, and one of the biggest comedians in the world right now.
Yeah. It's pretty nuts. Especially since so many people told that artist back when they started doing that there was no audience for that and they were going to lose everything and it wasn't funny, and it's pretty crazy to see it being embraced in such a crazy way.
Yeah. I mean, I just out of curiosity's sake, I went to their Patreon and somebody said that the person who made this should be killed. So what are the posts?
Pretty good.
So whoever made this should be shot in the head.
Pretty good that Akira lives in another country.
Yeah, I can't believe Akira would do that.
Gives him some distance,
Honestly, it's rude.
It is. Death threats? Pretty rude.
Yeah, pretty rude.
Pretty rude to say you want to shoot someone in the head.
Yeah, I mean, come on, what's that?
If people were asking why I didn't monetize this channel before, this is why, because I couldn't have conversations like this.
Yeah.
Couldn't talk about people getting shot in the head. And comics about cats slinging pussy. But, it's pretty cool, though.
Yeah, what are you going to do?
I wish we were brave enough to do a comic like that. It's inspiring.
It's a big deal.
I know.
I tried to get the artist on to do an interview.
Really?
Yeah.
What'd they say?
They said if they could get a translator, they would.
I could probably reach out to Tim Rogers. He's fluent in Japanese. He'd probably do it.
True.
Yeah. He did it for our audiobooks. I mean,
Well, I think Matt and Shane wanted to have that artist on their podcast.
I heard, but they wanted to protect their identity or something with like a voice changer or something because of all the death threats.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy if they do that.
So, just as a side note, you know what's really funny about that?
Let's hear it.
Is that like my joke in the beginning of that when I was publishing the scans was that like, you know, this is actually real serious for me because I've been getting death threats for posting these.
So we're just
And now
we're dropping the bit.
What do you mean? I was posting scans. I didn't make it.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, I was posting the scans of the thing. It's not mine.
Okay.
So, yeah, when I was posting the scans of that manga, I was saying in the thing to be funny, like, I'm getting, you know, this is actually a threat to my life to post these. You got to understand, I'm getting death threats every day about these. And now they really are.
They really are getting death threats. Do you think the Japanese government knows about this?
I don't know. They wouldn't be happy. The emperor would be displeased.
The emperor. Last Samurai.
And I would go to the emperor wounded and I'd be like, tell me how he died. And I go, I'll tell you how Akira Yoshida lived.
I'll tell you how he drew Cat slinging pussy on Colfax Avenue. Just him dying with a sword in his stomach, looking at all the cats. They are all fuckable. I had to be real careful earlier. I almost got myself in some big trouble.
You did what?
I almost got myself in some big trouble earlier. You would have left.
For doing what?
I was talking about some people in chat were playing that new FF7 game, and I was talking about the things that are good and the things that are bad. And one of the things that's bad is the voice acting for Red 13 when he embraces being a fun teenager instead of a stoic philosopher. And he sounds like Sonic the Hedgehog all of a sudden. And I was like, you know, the other characters all sound pretty good. Like Cloud sounds like this, and Barrett sounds like... I started doing Barrett's voice, and I was like, stop doing that. Nope. And then I went into my Sonic impression. I did 2 seconds of Barrett, and I was like, what am I doing? Uh-oh. Drifting into Robert Downey Jr. territory here. It is shocking. It's shocking how similar the Barrett acting is to Tropic Thunder.
Yeah, it's very similar.
It's great. It's truly great. I do love the choice for Red 13 to be like, a star from the heavens is falling and poses a threat to us all. And then he goes home and drops the act and becomes a teenager. Oh, wow, Uncle. I can't wait to run around and scratch and sniff and have so much fun. Yeah, like, I was saying when stuff like that happens, my immediate reaction is all the gunshot sounds from GoldenEye. I just go, ooh, oh, just cringe that is so painful.
I agree.
We can't get into details, but we wrote a really good script for Steve last week that I'm very, very happy with. I kept reading that one back, and I was like, damn, this is good. Damn.
You started slipping into your Robert Downey Jr. voice.
I was slipping into my, Master Splinter, I lost a sigh. Then it is gone. But I can get it back.
So, something funny.
Hmm.
I watched, well, the boys watched the latest Ninja Turtle show.
Okay. Is that
The one with like that fish fight.
Yes.
So it's really well animated and there's a lot of cool scenes in it.
Mhm.
In the movie, they have Jackie Chan be Master Splinter.
Mhm.
So he still has that like Asian voice.
Mhm.
And in the animated show, he's just a white guy.
Really?
Yeah, he's not Asian. I
He's
think
just
that they
like-
finally did the thing of like, we can't do a stereotypical Asian accent here.
How white is he?
Like,
Is he-
very white.
Is he Brooklyn white?
Like-
Is he like, hey boys?
He's kind of. He's like it's like a mixture. Like, they're not doing an Asian lean, but they're doing like a little bit of a lean away from just like a regular accent, like
Mhm.
white accent. I don't know if it is an Asian guy who's playing Master Splinter. I don't know if it is, and he just doesn't sound Asian. But
Well, I want to hear it.
yeah, I thought it was funny. Yeah, I wanted to see if I could find who is doing the voice, because I feel like it's the, like you can't be a
'Cause they're-
dog unless you're a dog in real life, kind of thing.
I like that. Like they're in New York, so I want the voice to be a New York voice.
Mm.
I want it to be very, very Brooklyn.
Yeah, what's this show called? It's not Mutant Mayhem, but it's the show. Why is this so hard to find the name of this fucking show? Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
That's a bad name.
Yeah.
Just call it Turtle Tales. Like, what are you doing? Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
TMNT Tales.
TOTTMNT? Is that Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja TOTTMNT? Not
Totem.
good.
Totemint.
Yeah, Totemint.
Okay, here it is. I'm sure it's probably an Asian voice actor. No, it's not.
It's just a white guy.
Wait. Let me see. Is that? It's a guy named Fred.
Fred.
It's a white guy.
Is it Fred Armisen?
Splinter. Yeah, that's him.
Wow.
All right, they didn't choose an Asian guy.
Can you give me an impression of what he sounds like as a white guy?
I wish I could. I can't remember exactly what it sounded like, but it's literally just like a white guy.
Is he
Tails.
just how ordinary is he? Is he just like you
Very,
boys?
very ordinary.
You boys can't keep going out there and getting into trouble.
Like, it's jarring how different it is.
One of these days, the Foot Clan's gonna catch you guys if you're not careful.
Where is Splinter? I need Splinter to talk.
That's disappointing.
Yeah, it's okay. It's way worse than I even thought.
Send it to
All
me
right.
so I can play it.
Listen to this. This is his. I mean, it's so crazy how different it is. It's not even close.
Splinter!
Ah! Oh, you scared me half to death. What are you doing down here?
Me? What
It's like a Rick and Morty voice. What?
about you?
Isn't
The
that
water's up
wild?
to your tail. I came to get you out.
You don't understand.
Like, it was
There's a
genuinely
goldfish in
shocking to me.
here.
I was like, that's supposed to be the same Splinter from the movie?
You don't understand. There's a goldfish in here. I sound almost like that comedian with the fat one with the curly hair who was Bebop.
Yeah.
Oh, I get it. You know,
Isn't that
I had a
bizarre?
pet guinea pig once. You can bring him with us, but we gotta go. You need to, like, pack a bag or something, grab a tooth. toothbrush.
The goldfish is real.
Yeah, it's not even close.
The goldfish is real. I'm Master Splinter. I know karate. I talk like this and I know karate. That's insane. That's insane. That's
Whoa.
very bad.
The Fall's getting a 4K remaster.
What?
Ooh.
I'm in.
Ooh.
I'm so
no
in.
way. I gotta buy that. I want to see that new Count of Monte Cristo.
I didn't
The
know
French
there
one?
was. I didn't know there was one.
It's getting like super good reviews.
Oh man.
I mean, he's not. Listen, I would rather have it be my boy from the original.
Yeah.
The
of
handsome
course.
boy.
Of course.
Nobody's ever going to be that handsome. The French guy,
Hmm.
he doesn't even get a move out of me.
Right.
I don't budge.
Hmm.
The other guy, the old Count of Monte Cristo,
You're feeling tremors down there when he's on screen.
I inflate.
Yes. You engorge.
It's like one bike pump up and down.
Yeah, I gotcha.
You get my PSI going.
Hmm. I remember watching that in a hotel room with you in London.
Yeah.
It was a good time.
You got a blanket?
Yeah. Kind of cold. You pass
No.
that over to me so I can cover myself up. I'd use the bathroom real bad. I might be in there
Getting in.
for 15, 20 minutes probably.
Yes.
Pause the movie though.
I'm suffering from inflation.
Yes. Got an inflammatory issue. Every time I see a hot guy,
Yeah, so
I inflate.
inflaming.
Yeah, I inflame.
Nothing I can do about it. All right. I become titillated.
Great movie with fucking what's his name, Guy Pearce as the villain too.
Yeah.
God, he's so good at being that villain. Fantastic film. Is that out?
It's great.
The new one?
Yes, it's out. It's in theaters right now.
I still get to see
AMC theaters.
I still get to see Nosferatu.
Yeah, I mean, I want to see Nosferatu, but believe me, boy, I've been itching for a Count of Monte Cristo.
Yeah.
Count of Monte Cristo is like one of the best stories ever.
Yeah, it's the you know, the greatest revenge story. Gonna become a whole new person.
Fucking
Gonna
awesome.
lie to the woman I love because I think she cheated on me.
Mm-hmm.
It's also funny when I went back and watched Batman Begins. I was like, hold on, they're just doing the Count of Monte Cristo but with Bruce Wayne.
Yeah,
I was like,
That's all it is.
This is great. This is
I
great.
mean, you're never gonna beat how good the Count of Monte Cristo is.
No, it's fantastic.
I mean, even Batman Begins doesn't come close to the Count of Monte Cristo.
No. Guys,
Damn.
if you like revenge set in a post-Napoleonic Europe, Count of Monte Cristo, highly recommended.
Yeah. That's a story where you go, oh, yeah, that's the right way to do that story. You don't have to do it another way.
It's true.
It's the best version of that story.
It's not going to get any better.
Being deserted on a just prison island,
Yeah.
learning how to sword fight from a guy that's behind a wall.
Yep. It's
Pretty
great.
fucking dope. It's pretty fucking cool. Yeah, I don't think it gets stronger. And then when he comes back and he gets the getting the. I'm spoiling a lot. Sorry, everybody, if you don't know the
Spoiling
story,
a lot
but
from this
it's
200-year-old
old.
story. Yeah.
It's old. If you haven't read it, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you're not sophisticated and you don't read.
More than 200 years old? Is it 17? It might be, actually. No, it can't be because it's Napoleon. Go on.
Anyway, going through that wall, learning how to sword fight. Come on. Learning about secret treasure. Getting coordinates to secret treasure.
Mm-hmm.
Come on.
Having a funny sidekick friend who tells jokes so you can brood and plan revenge,
Yeah.
but still have a good time.
Christopher Nolan's making The Odyssey.
Yeah,
Oh.
which is insane because
Nice.
it's either going to be very good or very bad.
Yeah, if it's like artsy,
Yeah,
like
I
check out.
My biggest fear for Christopher Nolan's Odyssey is that all the magical, cool stuff is going to be explained by really boring, believable stuff.
Yeah.
They're going to be like, look, it's Scylla and Charybdis, a giant naturally occurring rock face that looks like a snake in a whirlpool. It's like, oh, well,
Yeah, I want magic.
yeah, I need Cyclops to not be a 10-foot tall regular guy who's missing one eye from a fight. I need him to be an actual Cyclops.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very, very worried it's going to be that.
Yeah. I don't want it to be the thing of like we actually did all of the math and figured out what a black hole would look like. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
Or just have some guy from like 1983 paint a matte painting of a black hole with clouds in it.
Yes.
Like, who cares?
Just give me the black holes from Star Trek, the motion picture, because they looked cooler.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
It's cool. It's like a cool trivia thing to be like, we actually did the math on this.
Give me Kirk fighting Khan in inside a nebula that just looks like lightning clouds with inside an ink drop in water cloud. Like, it looks so much cooler.
Mm-hmm.
The Wishbone adaptation of the Count of Monte Cristo is 1010. I can confirm. I have seen that. I forgot Wishbone did that till you just said that.
I actually had an idea for Wishbone.
Hmm.
Did I tell you about it?
No.
That's the Make-A-Wish Foundation for guys who are virgins where they can have sex with anybody they want before they die.
You did tell me this. I thought you were talking about actual Wishbone.
And then you
Yes.
call it Wishbone.
I'm familiar.
It's the adult version of
I
Make-A-Wish
thought
Foundation.
I thought you were gonna say just now. I thought you were gonna say your idea for Wishbone was to do Mice and Men. That's what I thought you were gonna say.
Or where they shoot the dog in the back of the head.
The dog shoots the dog in the back. Who would Wishbone be playing? Who would he be? That's the real question.
I mean, if you wanted to have it be a funny adaptation, then the boy would be Lenny.
I need Wishbone to be saying, Curly keeps his hand in that glove full of Vaseline so it stays soft for his wife. That's what I need.
And having the kid be all dumb, like,
Yeah.
does he?
What does
Stop
that
squeezing
mean?
me. Just all the time, Wishbone. Stop squeezing me. Chill.
Very, very good.
Relax. It's all the time to the kid.
Please calm down.
Yeah, I get it. You're excited. Chill. Kim was all excited to do well, I got the analog Super Nintendo
Yes.
and it's plugged in and I have the play any game you want.
Sure.
And he's on the stream.
Oh. Hi,
Well,
Dan. Bye,
What's up,
Dan.
Cam? Bye, Cam. Hi, Cam.
So the thing that I was thinking about.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, what did I just say? Sorry, I got distracted.
Analog Super Nintendo. Kim was
Oh
excited.
yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
So Kim was like, I've been wanting to go back and like play old games, right? Like some of the games that she grew up with.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had it all set up for her with the Super Nintendo that has the Super Nintendo cart that has all the games, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And the game that she's like, this is like the best game ever is Buster Bust Loose Tiny Toon Adventure.
Holy shit. A game I've never even played.
Yeah, and she was like, it's the best. And I was like, oh, this is really good. We were
Was
just
it?
playing through it. Yeah, it's really
Was
good.
it one of those random
mean,
ones
it's-
that like Capcom or some great company made? One of those weird license things they did that's as good as a Mega Man game?
I don't know if it's as good as a Mega Man game, but it's pretty good. I mean, it's pretty good for like one of those games where it strikes a nice balance of like a kid could
Sure.
play it.
I
but
know
it's,
there's like
difficult.
I know there's like a weird collection of games that Capcom and Konami did that are like Disney and Looney Tunes tie-ins that are like legitimately great games because they were made by the greatest studios.
Well, it's great because there's like a ton of mini games in it and stuff. Like a lot's going on.
That's funny.
It's pretty good.
That's very funny.
Wow, the comic's going over well. I posted it on Patreon.
Nice.
Everybody likes it.
That's awesome. I mean, yeah, it looked pretty great. How long ago did you finish that? My sense of time's all weird.
April
Hmm.
or July? I can't remember. I think it was July.
Eric in chat says he briefly muted the stream to go read it. Congratulations on the excellent work.
Thank you. That was like a script I wrote in like 2013 or something.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I just got to do this. It's been sitting there. It's all done. I just need to
Mhm.
draw it, finish it. I had like thumbed the whole thing out. Then I just sat on it. And I just need to finish stuff. I need to finish everything.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm focused on doing. So that's done. Released it. I'm going to release it on like all the comic platforms and my website and just have it be like a thing of like, hey, if you like that, I can sign up for this
Mhm.
and, you know, get updates on when Starvale's going to come out. So that's the only thing I have left to do, really.
Nice.
And then once that's out, I can just focus on, you know, sometimes I'll maybe help with what's going on over at the wonderful Unacceptable Manga. I have my connections with them.
Hmm.
So I'll drop in and assist with some business stuff or whatever. But other than that, it's going to be comics and comics and comics.
Yes.
Too many things left to do.
Well, if we can't release any books in the next 4 years because of the tariffs, it gives us plenty of time to finish all the things we want to finish, and
Well,
just
we'll
have
see.
like 4 projects ready to go. Would be very funny
Dang.
to come out the other end of the tariffs and just have like 4 completed books. Just waiting.
Yeah. Yeah, I just want to finish books. I feel like there's so much stuff to do.
Yeah.
There's so many ideas and things. It's like, just want to do too much.
Yeah.
All has to happen. All has to happen.
What other games is Kim playing?
Balatro.
Nice.
She's playing Balatro all the time.
Heard-
And then just like Astrobot.
Heard great things about Balatro.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. But yeah, she's been playing Astrobot like every day
Sick.
with the kids.
Still,
They almost 100%ed it.
still haven't played it.
Pretty crazy. Like it, you know, it's similar to like Mario. Once you
Yeah.
get to like completing everything, you unlock like new worlds and things. And then once you unlock new worlds, it gets way harder, you know, like the challenge levels. So the challenge levels are pretty insane. And watching, like, they'll like pretty much the moments that I get to play it are like, okay, none of us can do this. Will you play this? And I'm like,
It's great.
so it's like my experience with that game is like, here's the hardest part. You play it, and I go, God damn it,
That's awesome.
this fucking sucks. So hard.
I'm pretty pumped for the Switch too, being a portable PlayStation 4.
Yeah,
That's pretty awesome.
I know that like that there people were disappointed that it wasn't something new.
No, Nintendo's never going to make a cutting edge system again. It's always going to be a more efficient last gen thing that has all the best stuff on it.
I bet that they'll do like. I bet that they'll do a version of it.
They're never
You know,
gonna,
they'll have like a little innovative thing here and there.
Yeah, I'm just saying they're never going to do like we're on par with what PlayStation's doing. I don't think they're ever going to go back to trying to be the leader in terms of power.
Well, I don't mean that. I mean that like people are saying that they didn't do enough in terms of doing like a gimmick. Like they didn't do something
Oh.
surprising. Like where's the thing? Like where's like the Nintendo staple
Oh,
weird thing?
I was like relieved they didn't do that. People were upset they didn't do that.
Yeah, people were just like, oh, well, you know, it's cool, but like, where's the Nintendo-ness?
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that. Yeah, I mean, I was happy. It's just a more powerful Switch.
Yeah,
I was like, cool.
I mean, that's all it really needed to be. It's like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, it's like now we can get a Zelda game that's as big as Breath of the Wild, but looks better. Like, you know,
Or at least just runs better.
or runs better, yeah.
I gotta figure out what font I used for that comic now. God damn it. I do not remember.
You must have it. You must have it downloaded.
This shit. Oh, God. I gotta look through all my pages. Maybe it's this one. Yeah, it's this one. Okay. Because I have to put DaveRaposa.com at the bottom of these pages that are going to be online.
Oh, yeah, right.
Can't just have this.
You need that in-universe branding.
I can't just have this floating around.
No.
Like, I don't want to do that, but for the one that's going to be online, I have to have something come back to me.
Hmm. Be interested to see how this does on Twitter. I've been like weirdly obsessed with the new Twitter algorithm and how much it doesn't show stuff. It's like bothering me.
Yeah.
But some things break through, and I hope this does. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't really care. Just whatever. I worked on this thing for so long.
Yeah.
To have it exist is fine. Let me see. All right, now I just gotta.
I'm gonna do the thing when I start my Square contract next month for the Fan Fest. I'm gonna go, guys, listen. What if I do all the work for free this whole month, and you just give me one of those Terra riding the Magitek armor statues? Come on. Come on. Just give me one. You ain't gotta pay me. Just give me one.
They will.
They're not gonna. But I can dream.
How much is it?
$13,000.
Jesus.
Yeah,
So expensive.
I know. I think there's only 350 of them, I think. It's like super limited. But
Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds right.
I know I want it. I know I want it. It's one of those things where you get and you put it in your house and you never invite anyone over ever again.
Yeah, I just I know I don't want it. I know that.
I want it.
Because I don't really like I'd have it and then what?
Did you get that new James Jean?
No.
I did. The Snake Lady?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't want anymore.
That's good. It's a good place to be. I hope I get there someday.
I just don't care. It's like it's cool, but I already have so many, and like I have so many that aren't even framed that I'm like, whatever. If I were actually framing these, I'd care. I just have them in like sealed up things. Like, okay,
Well, the nice thing is you can sell them for more than you bought them for.
I know that, but
If you ever get rid of the ones you're not hanging, you know?
yeah. I mean, maybe I'll end up selling some of them.
Yeah.
I just kind of feel like I probably wouldn't.
Yeah. If you're never
It's
gonna display them, like if you know for sure you're never gonna display them, then you might as well.
Well, like I'll display them, but I just mean like I have so many that I'm kind of like I'm just like collecting them to have them or something.
Sure.
I just don't care that much for that aspect of it. Like I don't really need it that bad
Yeah, I get
to
that.
keep on getting these things.
I get that.
They're cool. I also don't want to have like a giant room just like dedicated to James Jean stuff.
I get that.
It's like he's not my favorite artist in the world.
It's so fun painting snake skin. I keep zoning out.
Yeah, I was enjoying myself doing a lot of my paintings. But now I have true purpose. It's one of those things where like Rambo was content building that Buddhist temple back to its former glory until somebody came along and was like, did you forget about machine guns?
Yeah.
And he was like, I think I did. Like,
You're talking
here.
about the connection you have with Unacceptable and the stuff you might want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it's like. It's like I was getting good at painting and feeling like these paintings are coming out pretty good. And somebody was like, what about a gun though? Have you shot this gun?
True.
Oh yeah. Forgot about guns.
Forgot about setting traps. Watching guys get killed. Metaphorically.
Oh, that could be dangerous.
Why do a good painting when you can change the world?
Exactly.
And you can make something not just that people see, but something that people will never unsee.
Something that echoes in eternity.
Yes, something truly powerful.
So that's where I'm at mentally.
Some people think power is making a thing people remember, but true power is making something they can't forget, even if they want to.
Some people think it's creating something they'll remember. The true power is creating something they'll revile.
It's true.
Something they need.
Something
they don't want it.
Yeah, something they don't want to need. Yeah.
Do it. always forget
Hmm.
how to look back at your old, stupid carbon made thing. How do I look at this fucking thing? Trying to. I need to just delete that site.
Mhm.
What is it called? It's like carbonmade.com/something.
I don't know.
There's like a way to access your old account. So I'm like trying to figure it out because I just because it's the only way I can update stuff.
Mhm.
Because they switched everything to this like really ugly version of their website, which doesn't work.
That's fun.
Huh.
I love when people break things that didn't need to be fixed.
I mean, it's not like it's a good website. It's not good.
Yeah.
Get rid of one of my sections to do my comic.
What are your sections?
Should I get rid of Cade 6, that Destiny comic?
Can it go somewhere else?
I mean, I could put it up on like comic specific one, but
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know.
I think you probably got all the traction out of that you're gonna get, right? Unless there's like a new Destiny thing.
Yeah. I'm just trying to put up all of my comic. Alright, so Veil. Dun, 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 dun. Perfect.
Who is more useless, Chaozu or Yamcha? I mean, probably Chaozu, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Sorry, that wasn't much of a debate for you, Spitboy. Probably Chaozu. Be my guess. Have either of you read Drawing with Forces by Mike Matesi? I have not.
How are you doing?
Doing okay. I'm just trying to finish this painting. It's close enough to done that I want to get it out. Now that all my contract stuff is over till February.
Yeah.
February because they kind of just tell you once you start. But hopefully it's cool.
When's the last time you, you know,
What?
pleasured yourself?
Probably this morning.
Probably.
It's either
this one.
this morning or last night. Let me think. No, it was last night. It was last night. It wasn't this morning.
I love probably this morning. Like, I don't even remember.
I didn't.
A couple
I had to-
hours ago.
I had to think about it. Not yet today. Hasn't happened yet today. Which
Wondering
is
about
probably,
when you did it. Probably this morning is so dark.
Probably this morning. Which is probably why I'm like streaming and like doing pretty good and being productive, honestly.
Really?
I mean, yeah, probably. It's probably connected, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Logically follows, you know? That I'm like awake and not sluggish and like present and doing something productive, and I did not do that this morning. It's probably
I
connected.
actually have the opposite thing that happens to me.
What?
I get like totally messed up.
If you don't?
No, if I do.
Wait, what are you saying?
I don't like masturbating in the morning.
That's what I'm saying. I'm probably having a good day because I didn't.
Oh, I thought you were saying like the opposite, right?
No. I'm saying that I'm probably having a productive good day because I did not do that. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like I'm feeling pretty good today. I wonder if it's because I didn't eat a whole bag of Doritos for breakfast. It's like the same kind of logic of like, well, yeah, clearly that didn't help anything.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, Miguel, I want to answer your question about food choices, but me and Dave are talking about something very serious right now.
Yeah.
Wasn't
Yeah,
that in that video, like how to ruin the rest of your life? Whatever that video was, where he's like, wake up every
What?
morning. You sent me a video forever ago that was called like
Oh.
how to ruin the rest of your life or something like that. It had a name like that.
Yeah, okay. I
And it
think I
was
know what you're
like
talking about.
it was like wake up after 10 p.m. immediately masturbate. Don't go for a walk. It was like every bad habit you could do to like get nothing done. Yeah. But yeah, last night is the answer to your question.
Nice.
Yeah. But not the last night you expect. It wasn't like an in bed, ready to go to sleep last night. It was like an after dinner early last night.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, masturbating's brutal when you get older. It's just not worth it. It's never worth it.
I mean, I think that's the case always, but yeah.
Well, I think it's worse when you get older because your energy just goes down.
Everything's worse. As you get
Everything's
older,
worse.
Everything is worse.
Everything's worse unless, like, I don't know. Like, I feel better working out to some respect. Like, I have a little bit, I mean, energy is pretty good.
Sure.
But I think, like, yeah, anytime I do anything like that, I'm like,
yeah,
can't. Like, you think you can, and then you do it, and you're like, oh, why did I do that?
Mm-hmm.
It's like eating chips or something.
Yeah. That's what I was saying about the Doritos. Some things you just shouldn't do.
Some things you just shouldn't do.
Yeah.
Doritos are diabolical too.
Yeah, it's of all the things, even like chips in general, not great. Doritos though, it's like, what do you want to die? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. It's like when you're young, I feel like the fuel thing doesn't matter that much, really. And then when you get older, it's like what you actually put in is brutal.
Yeah, it's nuts. I can ruin my whole day by eating the wrong thing for dinner the night before.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's absolutely insane. Like stuff that used to be like a normal thing I would cook, I just will never eat again for the rest of my life.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, I think I'll make some like pasta with like meat sauce. Nope, gone. Never. It just will never happen again because I'll wake up with a headache, and I'll feel bloated and disgusting all day, and everything will hurt, and I'll feel sluggish and gross, and it's just like, okay, well, I guess that's just gone. That's just off the menu of life from now on.
Dude, the worst thing for me is like getting older and having like some of the smells creep in that like I remember my like uncle having,
That hasn't happened to me yet.
where I like smell myself randomly
Hmm.
if I'm like going to the bathroom
Hmm.
and I'm like, oh, uh-oh.
Yeah.
I guess I should just take showers like twice a day.
Yeah.
Like, 'cause that's
Probably.
insane to smell that smell. I'm like, is it diet or is it just like my body? Like, what is it?
I think, I mean, my theory for that is that as you get older, especially if you're living with someone who's cooking you semi healthy food, if you're eating more like fiber and like vegetables and things, I think it changes the smells pretty drastically.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my guess.
Yeah. But having that happen is shocking to me. I'm like,
Yeah,
all right, this is new. This is new.
I think
I feel like I
because
gotta stop whatever this is.
my diet's been pretty locked in for over a year now. Nothing's really, I haven't noticed anything like that because it's chicken and it's rice and it's vegetables
Mhm.
and it's basically that forever. And it's like, occasionally if I go out somewhere, maybe I'll try something, but like I get so sick now when I go out to eat that it's almost not even worth it even to just enjoy a thing because I will just like die. But yeah.
Yeah, where you like think that you could do it,
I'm
and then
like,
if you do
oh,
it, the
I
effect is
can
way crazier.
I can definitely eat food off like a poo poo platter if I go out to eat with my family at this Chinese place. I can have an egg roll and some crab rangoon. No. No.
It's the equivalent of like you used to be able to jump a little bit and like throw a ball into a
Mhm.
hoop, and then one day when you're older and you do that, you jump a little bit and your Achilles explodes.
Sure. Well,
It's like that.
it's not even an age thing that I'm talking about. It's just like if I was still eating shit all the time, my tolerance for shit would be pretty high and I could probably
Right.
do it. But now it's like I've completely changed the environment inside my stomach, and if I eat shit, my body just rejects it completely
Mm,
to the point where
I get
like
that.
you ever eat something and you get so nauseous right after that the spit texture changes in your mouth? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
You get so nauseous that you get that like I'm gonna throw up feeling, and like your salivary glands have that weird reaction. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's like that immediate for me sometimes. Where I'm like, I can eat a steak and cheese sub, sure. And it's like, nope, uh. Yeah, it's pretty wild. Pretty
Yeah,
wild.
that's definitely off the table for me for I think the rest of my life is having like a whole chicken parmesan sub.
Hmm. And
It's just gone.
that used to be your go-to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm glad my go-to is gone. My go-to was a shameful display.
What was your go-to?
Oh, just Chinese food, always, forever. Yeah, I'll get the General Tso's chicken combo with crab rangoon and an egg roll and fried rice, and I'll eat the whole thing and pretend it's a normal dinner. I'll have 4,000 calories, please, for one meal. Yeah, give me that. I want the chicken, but can you bread it and deep fry it and cover it in sugary syrup? And then also give me deep fried cheese and serve it on rice that's been fried in oil with a bunch of pork in it. Can you give me that, please? Yum yum. Yum 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 yum
Yeah,
yum. And it sucks
Mm-mm.
because when I was a kid, that was the reward food when my dad was not being great. It was
Right.
I'll take you guys out for Chinese food, and that'll be the little reward for the bad day we just had. And it was like a treat. So like my psychology is like, oh, if I'm having a bad day, I need Chinese food, and it's like it's so ingrained. It's so weird that it's just like a feeling of like, man, today sucks. Poo poo platter time. Like it's fucking, it's evil. It's an evil thing to have a connection like that to a thing.
Yeah, I had to get over that too. Just like any sort of like anxiety eating.
Hmm.
That was like my thing was like also the thing of just not having food at home and then
Yeah.
overeating
Yeah.
because I just like, when am I gonna eat again? And I'm
Hmm.
like, whenever the fuck I want. Like, there's so much food here.
Yeah.
But like in my mind, I'm not there. Like I'm still as like a little kid without food. So like I just eat fast and I eat everything. So it's like
Yep.
not. I can't get away from that sometimes. But if I'm present and I think about it, then I'm okay. Then I'm like, all right, okay.
I'll tell
Like
you
I don't need to do that.
what's very funny is now that the restaurant's open and there's like photos being posted of like the brunch and everything that they do. It's crazy how many people I haven't talked to in like over 5 years are like reaching out being like, hey, saw that place. So what days are you there? I'd love to swing by. Like I want a free meal. It's very,
Oh
very
no.
it's very, very funny how many people have decided that I'm no longer Dan Warren guy they used to know. I'm Mr. Prime Rib. Give me some prime rib.
When you were saying that, I didn't think that's where you were going with it. That
What
they
were you
were like
thinking?
trying. I thought it was just people trying to enter your life again.
No, they clearly want to show up when I'm there under the idea that, oh, I know the owner, you know. Otherwise, just go
Right.
when I'm not there, you know. It's like just go have food at a restaurant like a normal fucking human.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I'm glad that I'm like, I don't know. I have like a little bit of that when stuff happens publicly with like art things
Mm,
that are public enough that people find out about it
sure.
and I get like a message. But it's so far, you know, it's so far removed and they can't come and find me or like nothing's gonna happen. So nothing happens from it.
Right.
It's just more or less like, hey, whoa, saw this thing, what's going on? And I'm like, you know. But nobody ever tries to get anything from me.
Oh, it's insane. Someone tried to bring their entire family to a thing and they expected it to be for free and it was like 10 people. It was like, what?
Really?
Yeah, it was like, are you out of your mind? Like, no. No. I'm
Like
not doing
they
it.
did that, like knowingly did that.
Yes, knowingly did that.
What did they say? How did
Okay.
they frame it?
So they were like, hey, saw that the place is open and isn't your mom's birthday coming up? And I was like, yup. So you got to be celebrating there, right? And I was like, nope. They're like, well, we're going to come down to see your mom. And like, you know, clearly we're going to come down and I'm going to bring my family and we're going to celebrate. We're going to have a little party for her. So like, you know, what day is best? And I was like, no day is best. Don't do this. She doesn't want to do this. We're not doing this. They're like, well, I don't think you understand that your mom needs a break and she needs fun in her life. And we're going to bring the fun. And, you know, I'm going to bring a karaoke machine. We're going to have I was like, don't do what are you talking about? Don't do that. What is wrong with you? And then it just became a thing where they were like, yeah, I'm going to bring me and my kids and their kids and their boyfriend. We're all going to come down and like, you know, and then they literally said, book us the family room and we'll just meet you there. And I was like, all right, like this is fucking insane. This is nuts. They just wanted a bunch of free food for their whole fucking family. This is a person I haven't seen in 3 years. Book us the family room. Like, all right, see ya. Like, you're out of this. Like, this is nuts.
It's wild to just be cool with asking for that from people.
Yeah. It's insane. It's insane. Oh, the best is the follow up, because after I said no to that like 5 times, they were like, I think your mom's actually really stressed lately. I can tell from her posts on Facebook. You should tell your dad to book me a retreat with her up at a spa in New Hampshire. I think it would be really good for her. But if she goes alone, I think
Whoa.
she goes alone. I think she'll just be sad. I was like, this is so gross. This is so gross. But yeah, it's wonderful.
Oh, it's cool that you have to deal with that.
It's very good. It's happened probably 7 or 8 times, but that was the most like egregious one. That was the most.
I bet
like,
if something happened where like we, you know, like if we had gone through with making the show and all,
yeah.
and it actually happened, I bet it would happen to me.
Oh, I know every
But-
ex-girlfriend I've ever had would reach out for sure.
Yeah.
100%.
Like I bet it would be something,
Yeah.
but I definitely wouldn't. I definitely wouldn't give in. That'd be
Yeah.
such an ass.
No, it's insane. It's insane how transparent it is.
Yeah. The only version of that like I don't mind is like a thing of like it's a little awkward, but it's not like that crazy. Like if you're doing something funny and then like somebody is excited that like you're doing something funny and then they want to like be a part of it somehow
Mm-hmm.
and be like, here's my funny ideas
Right.
for like that. And like that's like it's like a version of that, of being like you are in here, but now me too.
Yeah.
It's like that's something that's similar to it, but
Mhm.
it's fine because like I get it. I get like, you know, you're excited. It's like
Yeah.
it's not really like a
It's different when
you're
it's
not
genuine.
really being like
Yeah.
weird about it.
When it's genuine excitement, that gets a pass. But
Yeah, like that's the closest version of that I'm like cool with. It's like,
when it's what can I
okay,
get?
you're just happy.
Yeah, when it's what can I get out of you? It's like, this is fucking gross.
Yeah.
This is also a person who, the person I was talking about a minute ago with the Book Me the Family Room, is also a person who, like, 3 years ago, the reason I stopped talking to them is they were like, you know, my daughter, I think, has always had a crush on you. You know, I think she really likes you a lot. She's just too shy to say anything. She just got in a car accident and she needs $9,000. And, like, I know you're good for it and she would totally pay you back, but I feel like that would be a cool way for you guys to reconnect.
That's insane.
Yeah. Like you're whoring out.
Who is this person?
It's fucking wild. You're like whoring out your daughter.
Who is this person?
Yeah, it's nuts.
Could you type to me who this is?
Yeah, I can type too.
Do I like it sounds familiar, I just can't remember. That's so crazy that like in tone deaf that oof. That's wild. Oh yeah, I just got Dan's message. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah. It's been 3 years, no contact. Ever since the $9,000. Give my daughter $9,000. I think she wants to blow you. Like, it's fucking nuts. Fucking insane thing to say to somebody.
Yeah. That's pretty shocking actually.
It was very, very funny. I straight up lied to somebody. And I think they know I lied to them, which is even funnier. Where they were like, someone I haven't talked to since high school reached out like a couple weeks ago, I think, and they were like, "Hey, you know, I saw that you built that house in town. I saw that house. That's a crazy house. You must be doing really well." And I was just like, "Oh, no, that wasn't me." And they were like, "But you live there. I was talking to Nicole about it."
What's it?
I was like, yeah, I was like, I built it, but I couldn't afford to live there, so I sold it. And they were like, "See, you're saying you don't live there?" And I was like, "No, nope." And like, I absolutely do. And like we have a bunch of similar friends that all come to my parties, and I just straight up lied. I just did not care. It felt very good.
Oh, that's great.
I was like, oh yeah, no, that's not me. Don't swing by because I won't be there because I don't live there. They're like, well, I saw the pictures of you building it, and I was like, yeah, I had to sell it. Like,
Yeah, I was cracking up at all of the memes around Elon's Zig Heil.
oh,
Dude, my favorite one was I
he's
hadn't
having
seen this clip
he's
in a
having
long
month.
time.
He's having a month, dude.
Dude, that one where somebody posted up like somebody was saying like it's the Roman salute.
Yeah.
Which is so fucking funny. But anyway, like
Amazing.
somebody quoted that and put that Key and Peele sketch where he's like, you know, I'm a huge silent film fan, right? He has the Chaplin mustache. I'm a massive Charlie Chaplin fan. And he's like, well, yeah, I guess that's true. And you know, Michael Jordan did do it. And he goes, yeah, exactly. We're gonna let this horrible man ruin it for all eternity just because, you know.
So fucking funny.
And then they go further into his house until he has the swastika flag, and he's like, "What? This is from the producers." Like, I'm a huge fan of the producers.
My favorite thing was
I was like,
people-
"That's exactly what this is."
the people saying he literally put his hand over his heart and then threw it out to the audience. He's saying, "My heart goes out to you." That was my favorite cope. It's great.
Yeah, it's so funny to be like, it's like, dude, it doesn't matter what he thinks it is.
It's one
it
of two
matters
things. It's one of
what
two.
it is.
It's one of two things. He either did a Nazi salute, or he's so stupid that he didn't realize he was doing a Nazi salute, and both of them are bad. So pick one, because it's one of them. It
Dude,
can't
it's
be anything
literally
else.
it's literally me wearing a swastika shirt and being like,
It's the manji.
this is actually the Buddhist symbol for
Yeah,
peace. It
this
actually
is
means
actually-
peace.
yeah.
It's to be like, sure, maybe it did once upon a time,
Mm-hmm.
but it doesn't anymore.
Not anymore.
It's like also the word retard used to be a medical term.
yeah.
Guess what it is now? Like you can't be like, I'm using it medically.
Guys, you know I'm a huge fan of antique medical
insane.
journals. You know.
Yeah.
You know I love
It's
antique
like
medical terms.
it doesn't matter what you think.
Dude, the Path of Exile stuff. Taking away fucking Asmongold's check mark. Just the pettiness. He's just having such a good month. He's just big ups.
Oh, it's insane, dude. That stuff, like, I know everybody's so offended by it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just funny how autistic it is.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty funny, but like it's insane. I'm sure, like, if he's not just severely autistic and that's why he did it,
Mm-hmm.
then I don't know what's going on in his head. But
I mean,
man,
I don't know.
it's funny.
I'm helping raise a kid with autism, and it's not an excuse for what he's doing at all. It's just not. It just isn't.
Well, I just mean like people who are so literal with
Yeah.
stuff that like they're like, no, it's this, and you go like, it doesn't matter that it's that. It means this. It's like,
It's not even a Roman
can't-
salute. That's the best part.
no, it's not. But it's
Yeah.
just like the way people are trying to find like any way to make
it's
it all
great.
right. It's very funny.
I haven't checked yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if any news media that's covering it as a Nazi salute is getting banned from X and possibly sued for defamation. Because I know he was doing that with some people over the Tesla exploding thing.
Yeah.
Be very funny. I just want to see, I don't know. Like, I know he's on track to become the world's first trillionaire pretty soon, but I want to see how big of a hole he can dig himself, because he's really, really trying. The Path of
Yeah.
Exile shit is so funny. It is so
I mean, like
funny.
I can't understand how like people are doing anything to like back that up, or you know, his explanation for that. Because I'm sitting here and I'm like, that's like me saying I won the Boston Marathon
I know.
because I sponsored a Kenyan guy
Yeah.
to like run it for me.
Yes.
And his name is Dave Raposa.
Mm-hmm.
His name is Dave Raposa. He won. I won.
He wrote it on the card. It's Dave Raposa.
Like,
His locker
that's
says
not
Dave
how it
Raposa's
works.
shoes on it.
You can say anything you want.
The funniest
That's not
part.
how it works.
The funniest part is him stashing all of his maps in a thing called Elon's Maps, because it's like outside of like a 4-year-old writing my lunchbox on their lunchbox who uses their name. Like, when are you ever writing like
Elon's
when are you
Maps.
ever writing like David's stuff on a closet? Like what?
Daddy's stuff.
Yeah, like it's so obviously stupid.
I mean, it's funny. It's funny how dumb it is.
Oh, it's very funny. And then did you watch the delete the stack thing?
No.
Oh, that's please. Just go watch it right now. Where he's doing a space on it's right after he bought Twitter, and he's doing a space on he's trying to convince people that Twitter was awful and it didn't even function, and part of the reason he bought it was to optimize it. And he's in a call with these engineers, and they're like, "All right, Elon, like walk me through what's wrong with it. Can you, like, because you're a programmer, right? You're an engineer. Walk me through what's wrong with Twitter." And he's like, "Well, the whole stack from the top to bottom just has to go. It's just this junk code from the stack." And the guy goes, "All right, so what's wrong with the stack?" And he goes, "Well, the whole stack just has to go." And he's like, No, I heard you. Tell me what in the stack is wrong. Because clearly you know what you're talking about, right? Tell me what is wrong in the stack that has to go." And then Elon goes, "Wow, what are you suggesting? Wow, you're a jackass." And then it becomes so clear that he has no clue what code is. And it's like, oh, everything is just bullshit. This is just insane. Okay. He has no clue what he's talking about.
Yeah. He's got to follow that rule of never say anything.
Adrian Dittman.
And people, if you don't say anything, people will assume you're smart.
Mm-hmm.
If you're doing well and you don't say anything,
Yeah.
they'll be like, "Oh, wow, brilliant."
Yes.
As soon as you start talking,
Yeah. It's over.
as soon as you let on,
the Dark
as soon
Souls
as you let your
font,
ego get the best of you,
Dark Souls font comes up. Illusion broken with the sound effect.
you can't do it. You got to resist the urge. You got to let these things run their course. Just let it exist. Let the good opinion live.
It is the Path of Exile stuff is so funny. Like, you don't have to have everything. You don't have to.
I am happy all these people are getting torn down. Like, I love that thing of Lex Friedman. I love that. That was so awesome. I love the Elon stuff. I like that everybody's like, their egos are getting away from them.
I was
in this
shocked
weird,
in my
simultaneously.
I was shocked in my talk with Vladimir Zelensky that he had nothing good to say about Vladimir Putin. There's nothing.
It's like,
we'll never have peace if people can't shake hands and say nice things about each other. Like, what is this, dude?
the guy's like, all right, how about this? We killed 1 million of their people, and they killed 700,000 plus of ours. Like, what's good about this?
I'm a solutions-based individual. I try not to hold a grudge. Like, oh god, Lex Friedman.
Let bygones be bygones.
Lex Friedman makes me want to become a high school bully again. I never understood it until I saw him.
Could you imagine being like a part, like if Lex Friedman's goal was to do that and it actually worked in the thing, and he was just like, yeah, actually, you're right. You know, it wouldn't be so bad. Like, everybody who lost a child.
If Vladimir Zelensky was like, actually, I think Putin's a pretty upstanding guy, and he's, he's done some great things for his country.
He's
like,
reasonable.
what? You know what, Lex? You're right. Let me say some nice things about this guy that invaded my sovereign territory and killed a whole bunch of people.
Oh yeah, that guy who abused my son.
In the interest of, you're right. Peace isn't possible unless we're all best friends. So let me go ahead and talk about that.
I know.
It is great watching them all get shit on.
It's awesome. It's awesome to watch them all try to let their egos get away from them.
But also Lex deserves it.
And then get crushed.
Lex deserves it because he opens every podcast with, "To everyone listening, from the stands to the haters, I love you." Like, all right, I don't care if you get shot at this point for saying that. That's criminal levels of cringe. That's absolutely insane. There should be a crime for saying something that cringe publicly. That's wild.
Yeah, it takes a certain amount of
It should be in the
a
Geneva
certain amount of
Convention.
distance from reality.
Yes, from the stands to the haters. I love all of you. You're all human, and I hope someday we can live in peace. Like, dude, you're not. Whatever you think you are, you're not. You're not that.
Yeah, it's
you-
that thing of like if you can believe that all you want,
Yeah.
don't say it.
Don't say it. Yeah. Don't
say
put that
it.
out. Don't put
Believe
that out
it.
in the world.
Believe it.
You're
You know?
not like I promise you. I don't care how smart you are. You're not operating on a higher plane of existence than a normal person. You're just not. You've convinced yourself that you are, but you're not. Don't say it.
It's like that thing of like I did mushrooms and I realized when I was doing mushrooms that like I'm not my body,
Yeah.
right? Like in the same way that I'm not my shirt that I'm wearing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I get it. Like that makes sense to me. It's you know, that's a great it's a cool thing to start to grasp, right?
Mm-hmm.
That like I'm not the you know, like if my face melted, I'd still be me because I'm not that.
Yeah.
I understand that. All right. There are certain places where you can't say that.
No, you can't.
Well, you can't talk about it.
No, you
There's
can't.
certain people you can't tell that to. There,
Yes.
there is a time and a place where that's relevant.
I don't know.
And
People,
like
people that
certain
talk
certain
like,
messages need buffers.
people that talk like every line they're saying out loud is a movie line, like they're in the biopic of themselves, is like it makes me so mad. It makes me so
Yeah, because
mad.
they don't see that like what they're doing is like propagandizing their own shit onto other
Yes.
people by like losing control of their ego, and it's like check yourself for this thing you're about to say, because what are you actually saying? Like you're actually saying that like you have the answers and you're waiting for everybody else to catch up.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do that.
You're saying you're
That's
better. You're saying
crazy.
you're better than everybody.
Yeah, don't do that. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
You're literally saying you're better than everybody. Also, the idea that you can stop a war with love is like, what are we doing? Are we like in an anime? Like, what is this, huh? I think the problem is we just need to teach them to love each other again. It's like, whew. It's just so out of touch. It's so out of touch. Do you see that? Mel
But the
Gibson?
funny thing about that is like even if you're right, even if like fundamentally you're right about that,
Yeah,
that kindness is how you should operate in the world.
sure.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
But not when someone
But-
not when someone punches you in the face and holds you down and puts a knife to your throat.
Yes. Not when like you are
Yes.
when that kindness that needs to appear is buried under a mountain of like bureaucracy.
Yes.
like
No.
military shit and
Yeah, no.
decades of conflict and like all
I did
this other
laugh.
shit. It's like,
I did laugh really hard when did you see the clip of Mel Gibson showing his phone to Russell Brand?
Mm-mm.
Did you see that?
no.
I don't know where they were. I just saw a 2-second clip and it made me laugh where they're sitting in some meeting and he leans over to Russell Brand and shows him his phone and he mouths the words and somebody figured out what he's saying is, my house is burning down right now. It's an insane thing to lean over and say in a meeting and just like show him a picture of your house burning down on your phone. Like,
That's fucking awesome.
my house is like the look on his face is he's just like, he's not like upset. He's just like shocked. He's like, my house is burning down right now. Like, look at it. And he's like, wow, yeah, look at that. It's burning down.
That's pretty cool. I like that.
It sucks that like I do want to see his Angel movie. I just want to know what it is. I just want to know how unhinged it's going to be.
Did you see how excited the white supremacists are
What about what this time?
about Elon?
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
They're like, hell yeah, that was a Zig Heil. I love it.
A crumb to a starving man is the feast, you know?
Ooh,
Yeah,
there it is. Look.
it's our time. It's like the new Stand Back and Stand By. He's talking to us, guys, guys.
Yeah, it's something.
Somebody sees me. I'm real. I'm
I'm
real. Yeah, it's unhinged.
Well, did I see him on Rogan? Dude is hopped up on something. I did. That was pretty funny too.
Yeah, he was
Mel Gibson.
definitely on something. I don't know. I don't know if it's a legit thing, like if he's on something for focus, like an amphetamine, or if he's actually taken something. But he was all hopped up. He had all the little ticks, all the little micro movements in the face. It was very, very strange seeing him that disconnected.
The thing that I know is coming that I'm waiting for is that I mean we're gonna get hit with late '80s, '90s stuff. That's what's coming.
Yeah,
That's the next step.
be more specific.
It's gonna be action movies
Hmm.
with ripped men
Sure.
doing stuff. It's gonna be a lot of that's coming.
Yeah,
It's coming our way. If we get more hard targets and shit like that,
Yeah.
it'll be all right.
Yeah, I wouldn't
That's
hate,
kind of the thing I'm waiting for.
I wouldn't hate it.
It's like, okay, I'll take that hyper masculine stuff again. That was fun.
Yeah.
And that stuff's entertaining.
It's
I just
funny.
hate the dorks.
It's funny because it's like it's good entertainment for different reasons for different people, and it's funny that like we can see that and be like, this is like good because it's funny and fun, and so over the top
Yeah.
it goes full circle. to
Doesn't take
being-
itself seriously.
Yeah, but then there's people who are waiting for that because they think that that's a serious thing that is important and will change culture and needs to be a thing that like it's crazy that both of those audiences exist for that, and one of them is so embarrassing.
Yeah. The right balance is what Jackie Chan does.
Yeah,
That's the
exactly.
one that's for everybody.
Yeah,
It's all of it. He's the everyman. He's also tough.
yeah.
He's funny.
Heart of gold, good
Humble.
balance of humor. Yeah,
Good. That's my favorite version of action
yeah.
is Jackie Chan because it's everything all wrapped up into one.
I like Jackie Chan, and then I'll occasionally give Tom Cruise a pass. I'll watch a Mission Impossible and be like, it's a pretty good movie.
It's different.
Yeah.
That's different.
It's different.
That's like it's kind of, I mean, it is action, but it's like, yeah,
yeah.
there's a story.
I'll be entertained.
Something's going on.
I know I'll be entertained.
Yeah. But when
Yeah.
it comes to like action stars, like when it comes to like, Wesley Snipes, Van Damme,
Jackie Chan
all those
is
people.
top tier.
Jackie Chan had it all figured out.
Yeah,
He checked all the boxes at once. I would like to have Steven Seagal back. I like the ones of him sitting and fighting. I really like that. I like him. I like
Those
him
are-
mumbling.
Yeah,
I like him not knowing how to use a gun and just whatever. Like that stuff's awesome.
what's
It's
that
really
line?
funny.
Stalking a guy fatly. I can't remember that line. That Steven Seagal line from Come Town is one of the best things ever, and I can't remember it.
Yeah.
It's like lurking fatly or something.
Oh, he's great. Yeah, that unaware level of like, like I have a buddy of mine who's being funded by princes from Dubai
Hmm.
to make stuff. They tried to get me on that, which was really funny because I was in like meetings with like the people that represented the prince, and like they are very much in like Steven Seagal, Van Damme mode.
Hmm.
And it was really, they were like, people don't really care about like the story in comics. They care about the action and like the fights and stuff. And I was like, you guys are so eternally dumb.
Hmm.
This is so dumb.
Well, it's also like
I was like, no, they don't.
it's dumb, but it's also that weird thing where like we go to Bali and we're like, oh, is it the year 2001 here? Like all the media is like weirdly backdated. All the stuff they're playing on the radio is like from 20 years ago. You're like, what?
Yeah, the whole thing of like the story doesn't matter though.
Oh,
Where I
it's
was like,
insane.
you don't. I was like, if you think the story doesn't matter in a good action movie, I was like, then you're just dumb
Yeah,
because it's invisible to you for some reason,
it's literally the George
or you can't
Lucas.
follow it.
It's the special effect without a story is a pretty boring thing. It's like the same exact thing.
Yeah, it's like a punch without stakes is
Yeah,
silly.
yeah,
It doesn't mean anything. It's like you
right.
need context. I just thought it was to have them be like running it and then telling me that. I went like, "Oh, you guys have no idea what you're doing."
Well, it's
I was like, "Okay, I'm
also
not going to be involved."
it's also funny because it's like, why are they reaching out to you if they have it figured out? Like, clearly they don't have it figured out. That's why they're reaching out to people.
Well, they just wanted people to like be in their world because they don't have foot in comics.
Yeah,
That was like the idea is they're trying to get it going,
but like,
and they
if you're
have
gonna do
money and they
that,
want to make stuff.
let the comics professionals tell you what you need to do. Don't tell them that you have it all figured
Well,
out.
I think that is what they ended up doing. They just kind of let people do whatever they want as
Yeah,
long as there's nothing like, you know, there can't be like gay stuff
of course.
or, nudity, anything that goes against like their
Yeah,
religion.
yeah,
And then but like, you know, there goes so much
yeah. There goes a ton of
what
stuff.
what I would do.
Hmm.
So it's like, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
You don't want me.
yeah. I'm not the soldier for this battle.
Yeah, you want me to like self-censor
Yeah,
the crazy shit I want to do. Like,
right.
yeah, right. You're, you're right.
Yeah, no.
No. It's like, no, I can say whatever I want.
I wonder who's going to be making those movies we were just talking about.
I mean, probably the new dictated Hollywood committee or whatever of Sylvester Stallone and Mel
The
Gibson.
ambassadors to Hollywood.
Yeah, which is so
Yeah,
awesome.
that's great.
It's such a funny idea.
You know what is the funniest part of that? And by funny, I mean horrifying. Is that
What?
no one in Hollywood is going to want to fund those movies because they made it political. So the funding is probably going to come from people around the government, and it's going to be state-run like media, not in the news sense, but like government-funded movies. To like, it's going to become dystopian. It's great. It's so fucking crazy that we're here.
Yeah, I like the like mandated, like them all being like mandated no wokeness.
Yeah, it's so.
And it's like I'm not a fan of heavy-handed anything.
Yeah, but it all comes
I don't
down
want it.
to
I don't want it heavy-handed in either direction, but we're gonna get it.
yeah. It comes down to the definition of what you're defining as woke that particular month, because
Yeah.
it changes and it just becomes a moving target that's impossible to avoid or hit
But
depending on what you're trying to do.
but really, what's gonna happen is it's gonna be them being like, "Oh, that's gay.
Yep.
Don't do it." That's
Don't
it.
do it. Yeah.
That's what it's gonna turn into. Oh, that this part of the script is a little gay.
Little gay.
Like for
Also,
sure, that's what it's gonna be.
what a great job to go work for whatever this government board's going to be and be the person that reads scripts and has to censor, like find all the gay stuff and then find all the tertiary gay stuff. This could be gay.
Just doing the fingers, the finger hands.
I'm just picturing
Yeah, the Shark Tank.
I'm picturing
Too
I'm picturing the council that like when Harry Potter goes on trial and he's in front of the Ministry of Magic, they're all wearing the robes and the college hats. Excuse me, did you say a Dementor? Like, I want it to be that. I want it to be a council of finding gay
Oh,
things.
this is a bit too gay.
A bit too gay for me, boy. You say those men hold hands in a brotherly way? How brotherly?
This hero, he cries. How does he cry? My child.
My child.
Gaily.
Oh. Oh.
Just imagining the board of Strictly Men or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
The both
The strict board of Strictly Men.
the masculinators or whatever they're
The
called.
Ministry of Masculinity. masculinators.
Yeah.
The Ministry of Masculinity.
Just was seeing like the movie Moonlight get like put across their desk.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Let us deliberate on this. We'll be back. And they go into a back room.
We have retreated to the cloakroom and been in deep
Damn.
deliberation.
They go into the room.
Yeah.
They go into the room where they judge if something's gay or not for a couple days, and if black smoke
Exactly. That's what I was about to say. Yeah, the Vatican thing. That's what I was
then
getting
it's
at.
gay.
If black smoke comes out, it's gay.
Dong, it's gay.
If white
So
smoke comes out, it's not woke. You can release it.
it's straight and good. All is straight with this movie.
I'm waiting for. We have been in deliberation for 7 days and have decided that Philadelphia must be taken off of Netflix.
Yeah, because it feels like a move to do what China's doing, where
Yes.
they're doing like the whole like you can't say this stuff or act this way
Yeah.
because it's too embarrassing.
Which we should have, but it should be for people like Lex Friedman. It should be that. It should be a Department of Cringe. The Council of Cringe.
Where we all have like black robes and tall black hats and a huge circle of judges. And then we all
Tom-
watch Lex in the center and we go, boo!
Tom, as you know, cameras are not allowed inside the Council of Cringe, but I did sit in on their deliberations and saw 7 of the 9 justices physically shake when they watched that podcast. Does
7